I'm Jim, together with my wife Chris. We are the Geeks on Tour. Do you think that your smartphone is smarter than you? Yeah. Do you have questions about your Android or iPad tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices that are all over the place now? It's just crazy.
We are geeks who teach. We are into lifelong learning and helping others learn technology along the way. Our website is geeksontour.com and includes several hundred tutorial videos on the topics that we teach. And then we do this every week because there's so much to learn and know about smartphones and tablets.
So we're in Casa Grande, Arizona, at a big RV park called Palm Creek. And we've been here before, but we've been presenting 2 seminars a week for the month of December.
We did more than that.
Well, yeah.
We've also attended a couple of their different technology clubs. They have a computer club, they have a Macintosh club, they have an Android group, and I think an iPad group, although we haven't gotten with those folks yet. And then we taught a hands-on class on Windows 8, and we've taught our cloud computing class 3 times now here.
Hey, David Cross says he's anxious to get started.
Okay.
And Michael Dorsey says he can see and hear us. That's always a good thing.
That sure is. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you guys so much.
Somebody else mentioned that we haven't promoted people attending this enough, and I think that we're still a little nervous.
Yeah, doing this thing live is really kind of scary for us, and yeah, we don't ever. I needed to turn that on too. Okay, so today's topic, Chris?
Well, our beginner lesson for today is sounds on your phones and tablets.
What these things are.
What are these things?
I don't know.
Ringtones and notification, all those buzzes and bells. And I've been playing with it this week. Boy, has there been a lot of buzzes and bells around here this week.
That's for sure. It's been a lot of fun. So the way we do this show is we have an intro and quick tips, beginner's lesson. That's what Chris is going to be talking about there. And we'll start with the iPad. We'll show the Android in this segment. And let's see. If you have questions or comments, please post them down there below in the comments area, and we'll try to get you answered. It does take a little bit of delay, but we'll be in there. So, oh, there's Sue Hepler. Haven't seen you live yet. Are you online? Well, apparently we are, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, put those questions down there. We will record this show. They're all recorded, and this is our 23rd episode. Wow.
Seems like we should be getting used to it by now.
Oh, no. So it'll be available for viewing later on YouTube and with the rest of the reruns.
And we are using 3 different internet connections here today.
Yeah, we have our cable connection that is in the RV park, and that's through Dish Network. We have Chris's cell phone running as a hotspot, and we have the iPad also running as a hotspot. So,
and it's always different. Today, the iPad with AT&T is our best connection.
So, well, anyway, there we are, and we'll get that going. So, that's good. We do invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's available there, and the more subscriptions we get, the better off we are, I think. And
these What Does This Button Do episodes are all in a playlist on YouTube, so you could binge watch for 23 hours.
That would not be a good thing. I think they are getting over here. So, we have some quick tips there. Let's see.
I got a couple of quick tips I want to share this week. One that I just realized that some people don't know. What if you get a phone call, it starts ringing, and you say, oh, I meant to turn that off. I'm in a meeting, or I'm in the movie theater or something. What is the quickest way to stop it from ringing? On an Android, all you do is press the power button, and it will stop ringing. The person on the other end will hear it continue to ring, and then it'll just go to voicemail. So it's just you didn't answer it, but it'll stop ringing on your side immediately.
Yeah, that I don't think that they ring long enough at my end. So if somebody calls me, it seems, and the phone is in the other room, it seems like it goes away or it goes to voicemail before I can get to it a lot of times. Now, usually I have my phone with me, and that's not an issue. But if it's in the other room or I can't locate it right away, even with the sounds, it seems to go to voicemail.
Now on the iPhones, it's the same thing. It's just the little power button on top. But my understanding is you have to press it twice. 2 times fast will stop the ringing, send the caller to voicemail. So that's a tip for if you're in the theater and you have not turned your sound off.
Okay.
The second thing I want to show you is a little bit more. I have a second tip.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Is how to share a contact. So, Jim, I think it was even just this last week that you said, I don't have the phone number for so-and-so. Do you have it?
Right.
I said, yeah, let me look that up. But then, okay, I'm going to show this.
Okay.
Rather than me looking it up and saying, and telling him the phone number and having him write it down, I'll say, well, let me share my contact with you. So this is on the Android. I go to my contacts, and let's say it's Joe somebody, Joe Kent. I'll search for Kent. There. And he wants this information. What I'll do is menu and share name card or send contact information. I forget. Share name card. And if I share it via email to Jim, yeah, this was the right way. It was share name card. And Joe. And send. And that'll arrive in a second, and we'll show you on his phone. But meanwhile, let me just show you on the iPad, very similar thing. On an iPad iPhone,
Up just a little. Yeah.
You would go to your contacts and open a contact, such as Susie Q here, and share contact. Now, on some versions of the last person's phone I looked at didn't have the word share contact. They had to tap on that little share icon, the one that's the square and the up arrow. But in any case, find the share, either the icon or the words, share via email, and send it to somebody. And now this is really interesting. We tested this earlier. I sent this to him, to Jim, on his, he received it on his Android phone, and yet the contact from the iPad was able to get added to your phone.
Yeah, right. That was great because I could go right into my contacts.
Want me to?
Yeah, go ahead and show it. And it was Alex, right? So just.
Well, that's who. You want us to get the ones that you just received?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See if it's there.
So he can go to his email. Where's your email? These phones get so personalized,
right.
Don't they? You can't.
Yeah.
Okay. And there. So here is the contact I sent to Jim from my Android phone. And he can just tap on the attachment and create contact under account. Now, we are Google all the way. If you tap device, then that contact lives on this device, and you'd have to back it up and restore it when you get a new phone. But if it's in the Google, then it's there. It's on all your devices that you're logged in with Google. Okay, so now that was Joe. I can search for Joe. And Joe Kent. And there's the information from my phone to his.
Isn't that great? That is just such an easy way to share contacts, and I don't know, it's just
and I guarantee
cool
the
tip.
one
Cool
that came
tip.
over from the iPad works the same way.
Very good.
And now there are actually even better ways. There are ways you can just bump the phone and all that, but I like having some control.
Yeah, I know all about your wanting control. Okay.
So those are our quick tips for today.
All right. Let's see. There's my gotta laugh, and this is really true these days. That what's more important, and we think that the internet is almost as important as water going down the road.
We're certainly concerned about it.
Okay, so you ready for your beginner's lesson?
Sure. So, anybody remember this sound? Or some people still have that. This was our old Android phone. That was the... So, what's that noise? Our tablets and phones beep at us in so many different ways that... So this lesson is, how do we control these things?
Beat me up.
And this is a beginner's lesson. There's all sorts of fancy stuff you can do with ringtones and alerts, but this is a beginner's lesson. So first of all, what's the difference between a ringtone and a text tone, or an alert, or a notification tone? What do you think?
Well, a ringtone is obviously going to be something that when you get a phone call, that's going to be the ringtone. A notification is something that's attached to an app that's on your device. So, an alarm or something like that.
Yep. And usually, it doesn't have to be, but usually a ringtone is a little bit longer, and a text tone or a notification tone is just a short little bell and whistle. So first let me show you on the iPad, and I'll adjust myself here.
Okay. I'll try and get some of these wires out of the way. In our wireless technology, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on.
Okay. So on the iPad, what we're talking about is settings. You go into settings, and this time we're talking about sounds. I mean, we did notifications a couple weeks ago, and I felt like this was a good follow-up, so we didn't talk a whole lot about sounds with the notification. It's a separate section, sounds. So you want to set your default, first of all. So if this was a phone, you want to set a default ringtone so that you can recognize your phone in a crowd, right? Everybody's carrying their phones with them now, and they all ring.
That's for sure.
You want yours to be as distinctive as possible, and that is just ringtone right here.
There was one on the TV the other day, and I'm looking for my phone.
What's that noise?
What is that noise?
So that one is the default, but a lot of people have that tone. So you want to go through and pick something. What do you tell people to do, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Whenever, we tell people to go through their settings when they're in a doctor's office, a waiting room, something like that. Well, I say you should go through all of your ringtones and turn your volume all the way up and just try out all those ringtones while you're sitting in the waiting room. Your doctor and the people in the office, they'll love it. They'll just love you for that.
Now, maybe you had a ringtone in your older phone, your older iPhone, that you really liked. Well, down at the very bottom of the list here, it says classic. And then you get all the ones. I think this marimba was a very popular one. Anyway, whatever you set there will be the default. And notice if you don't like any of these, you can go to the store. You can go to the store and buy others. So, and they're like 99 cents or something. Here's one that I got.
Come in, please.
So you can get very distinctive.
Live long and prosper.
All right. So that is the #1 ringtone. Or the oh no, this has to be my name.
I feel good.
Okay, now that also is one that I bought in the store. Okay, so we'll go back out here. So that was just the ringtone. But look at all these other things here in the iPad. You can set a default text tone, a new mail, a sent mail, a tweet. Well, but now these are up to you. Notice that my tone in new mail is none.
None?
And it especially on my iPad, because this isn't my main device. My main device is my phone, and it really is bothersome to get a ring on my iPad and a ring on my phone when I get new email.
Yeah.
I check my email often enough. I do not need a sound. But for text messages, I normally do. I don't want a sound for tweets. I'll change that to none. And I don't need a sound every time somebody posts for Facebook.
No, that's for sure.
None.
Because we get plenty of those.
But for calendar items and reminders, I do want something for those. So you can go in and... Okay, that's good. So my calendar alert is cosmic. So this is where you set your defaults. But you can also have specific tones for different contacts. So I'm going to press the home button now and just go out to the main screen and to contacts. And so I left my main ringtone at I Feel Good, didn't I? So that's pretty, okay, that's not right. My default ringtone should be something a little less. So I'm going into sounds, ringtone, and I'm just going to choose cosmic. I like that one. Okay, so that's going to be my main phone ringtone. But now when Jim calls me, I want that James Brown, I Feel Good.
that was our wedding song, wasn't it?
It was. So I go into contacts and I find Jim.
Center it a little bit better there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There we go.
All right. Well, he's not showing up where I expect to see him, so I'll just go into here.
But I'm right here. Look.
Yeah. And, oops, I'm FaceTiming you. These things are so touchy.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what you do, notice that there's a text tone that I already set to I Feel Good. If you tap on Edit, that's the key here. Tap on Edit, and now you get default ringtone, default text tone. So, wrong way around. I want the default ringtone to be... I feel good. Okay. And then if he texts me on this, I think I'll just do something kind of normal there. Or where's that Scott star? You can spend a lot of time here, can't you?
Oh, you can waste a lot of time doing all of this stuff. You're, yeah.
All right. But so now I have a distinctive phone ringtone and text tone for Jim calling me. And that's it for the iPad.
Okay.
Now for the Android. And
okay, the Android's on.
all right. So main ringtones, we're talking about settings and sounds.
Oh, before we get there, sorry about that. I have Karen says, I don't see that share on the iPhone 6 Plus.
Okay. The word share, I hope you're talking about. I'll bet what I hope you do see, and if not, I just don't know something about the iPhone 6. I'm just in photos now, just because I know that in photos there is the little share icon. If you don't have the share words, hopefully you have that share icon. And that is what that is. You tap that and you should get the options of sharing via mail or message. If you don't, write again, and that's something we would have to research.
Okay, and Anne is asking, I have an S4 Mini. Is there any way I can download a custom ringtone?
An S4 Mini, is that talking Android or iPhone 4? Did they name these confused? Because there's iPhone 4S and there's Galaxy S4.
And I don't know of an S4 Mini, so give us a
Actually,
shout
that might
back.
be a tablet.
It could be.
Downloading ringtones, I haven't found such an easy way on the Android.
Yeah.
On the iPad, it's very easy, but you have to buy them.
Right.
If you want them free, there are ways.
Okay.
And maybe we'll delve into that someday when we do a MP3 session.
I downloaded an app on mine called Ring Droid, and that way you can create ringtones from different.
But you still have to have the MP3.
You have to have the sound from somewhere, so maybe we'll do that as an app of the week sometime.
Yeah.
Not this week, though.
Okay. So on the Android, in your settings, there's also something called sound. But in here, you just have the ringtones and notifications. You don't have separate settings for all sorts of different apps. On the Android, you have to go to the apps in their settings to do that. But you can still set your default. So my default ringtone, I want it to be something that sounds kind of like a phone. But still different. I mean,
that's different.
But there's so many choices. Oh my God. See, I kind of like that one. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to make that my default telephone ringtone. Now then, once again, for notifications, I make my default be silent. Because you just never know when you you install a new app and it has notifications and it just uses your default. This means it won't be beeping and buzzing at you.
And you know what they say, silence is golden.
Sometimes silence is good. So that's just my technique. I make the default notification sound be silent. And then I go into my specific apps. So for example, in email, I would go into my settings. All right. This is a whole new email program too. Well, I don't want any notifications for email, do I?
You don't want to hear it.
But for my calendar, maybe I do. So I go into settings and notification sound. So I will set my calendar's notification sound in the calendar app. That one sounds so real. It's always weird.
Ship's bell, what is that? There's magic in the air.
Okay. So that is default sounds are in the system settings under sound, and then individual app sounds are within individual apps. Now, what about people? So I go into my contacts. The easiest way to get there is through the phone on this device. And I'll go to Jim. Actually, he's on my favorites, isn't he? But you can't get into edit from the favorites. So there he is. And once again, you go to edit. On the Android, the edit is the little pencil. So edit, and ringtone is one of the things you can edit. Now, I've set this special one, and I will show you how I did this.
Oh boy, your husband is calling. Oh boy, your husband is calling.
Answer the phone. I had a friend that had his mom would call and said, "Answer the phone, your mother's calling."
Yeah, well, we can do that. We can do that. I use something called, another app called, what's it called? Talking Ringtone. But let me show you another contact so that Joe can't. And notice that there's a ringtone, but there is no text tone. Add another field, and now you have message tone as one of the options, and you can choose message tone. Okay, so just the last thing is, how did I get that talking
Just
thing?
one more thing.
Just one more thing. Okay, so in the apps, I downloaded something called Talking Ringtone. So I go over alphabetical and Talking Ringtone. And there's Ring Droid, and yeah, we will have to do another one on that. That's how to get music into ringtones. Do you see it? There we go. Talking ringtone. And it's just so easy. You just tap plus, and yeah, let's, what is it? Answer the phone is what you said. So I'll just type answer the phone, and done. And that's to get other voices. Ugh. I didn't mean to tap that. Okay, answer the phone. Play.
Answer the phone.
And I say, ooh, that sounds a little bit weird. You can edit it, and you can make it a little bit faster and change it to United States English.
Answer the phone.
And if you set that to your ringtone and somebody calls, it'll say, answer the phone, answer the phone, answer the phone, answer the phone. Okay.
I think that would be a little bit annoying.
Just a little bit, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's it.
Well, great. So, now, let's see. We have a couple of notices here.
Couple of questions?
Yeah, a couple of questions. Sherry says, as I've said before, I always learn something from you guys.
Yay.
Yeah, we like
So
to hear
do we.
that. So do we. When I want to stop my Samsung Android from ringing, I can just turn my phone over and it'll stop.
Right.
That's
Different
a cool thing,
motions.
yeah. But that's a setting.
Exactly, yes.
Right. And let's see, Karen says, I'm not finding sounds for a caller on iPhone 6. Oh, there she says she found it.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody.
Okay.
We're still thinking about, if we win the lottery, we'll get an iPhone 6.
Okay. This one says it's a Galaxy S4 mini phone. It's the size of an
Okay.
older iPhone. So the older devices, I really don't know for sure. But
Well, oh,
well, we'll look that up and we'll try and figure
try and
that
answer
out.
it in the.
We'll put it in the comments. So check back and if
And what?
we'll see. But now?
Well, I was just looking at my old Android phone. In the settings, has sound, and it works pretty much the same way. So, Samsung.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got there. App of the week. Let's do an app of the week real quick. My app of the week this week is Google Earth. Or on the Android, it's just Earth. Yeah, it's really pretty cool. Let's see if I can get that around here.
Now, if you were expecting Evernote, Jim and you all convinced me that we do need to do a little series on Evernote. We'll be doing that in our regular videos on our website.
How do I get this screen turned around?
Well, that's, there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll try that. We don't need to be showing the toilet, so. Yeah, you wanted me to do this. Okay, I'll do it. All right, Earth. It's downloadable. It is for the Android or the Apple, the iOS, or the Windows phone. I think it's even. And this app has been around for a long, long time. And it's just changed. It's been wonderful. And there's Earth. It'll come up. I love it on the computer. I even have a special controller. And here we are in Arizona. You can move it around. You zoom it in and zoom it out by pinching like that. 2 fingers will tilt the aspect. 2 fingers again, you can twist it like this. You can touch the
compass
to make it always go north. And it's just such a cool app that I think it's one that really is a must-have for your device. We have it on all our devices, on our phones, on our tablets, on our computers, and did you want to show it on there?
On the iPad?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's turn that around there.
I think I have it all queued up even. So I'll double press my home button. That's how I see everything that I've set up. And there is Earth. And I've gone to, because I tapped it again, it's starting over. But I think a fun thing to do is Mount Rushmore. So I'm going to tap up in the search and type Mount Rushmore rather than having it come to where I am. Because you can really see the 3D here too.
Yeah, it looks like it's stopped there though. Bandwidth problems. There we go.
And Google Earth is quick.
Yeah.
So there's Mount Rushmore right there. I want to zoom in. And then I want to tilt the Earth so I'm looking more straight on. And I can zoom and tilt some more. So you get the idea. You can even climb right around their heads in this. Yeah. But a way cool thing that we did this week. Went on a hike and recorded the hike. The leader recorded the hike every step of the way.
Yeah.
And with a GPS, and you did what?
Right. He had a Garmin GPS that he just keeps strapped to his belt, and as it goes along these tracks, he sets it up, and every so often it'll put a waypoint in. And the software that came with the Garmin GPS will allow you to view that track on Google Earth. So it's just another item there. And in Google Earth, you can save that as a KMZ file and share that as a KMZ file, and it's really cool. Let's see if we can bring it up on this other computer.
Yeah, I got it.
You got the wrong mouse. You're moving my mouse.
So.
Okay.
The track that he's talking about is this one at Top Hat, and we can just play the route.
Yes. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
this is the hike that we did yesterday up by the Superstition Mountains.
It was Friday, but...
Oh, okay. And this is taking data from a GPS imported into Google Earth.
And then we shared it using Dropbox. So I was over at Skip's house yesterday when we were going through this, and it's just amazing. So now we have to upload this to their blog. They have a Palm Creek Hikers blog, and now everyone can see the hikes that they go on, and we'll put them all together using Dropbox. How cool is that?
Now that's using all sorts of devices.
Oh man, and pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, now he did that. He recorded the track with a handheld GPS,
right?
It's a Garmin. But I also did it using my tracks on my phone.
Right, and there are just so many ways that you can utilize this technology, and this can really be useful. All right.
Okay.
So let's go back to the slideshow, I think.
Alrighty.
Up there. I don't know. Power surge on the USB port. All right. Well, well, did you learn something? Oh, what are you doing? There you go. So, Chris, review question. What's the name of the system settings that control alerts and ringtones?
It's actually the same on the iPhone and on the Android, and that is just sounds. So you need to go into your settings and look at sounds.
Okay. And if one tone is set as the default and another tone is set for a particular app, which one wins when that app sends a notification?
Anything that is set individually wins over the default.
All right. True or false? If one tone, if each contact can have a unique ringtone for phone calls and a unique tone for text messages.
That is true, and that's the thing that I learned this week. However, on the Android side anyway, there's a caveat, and that is that there are so many different ways of sending text messages and so many different ways of receiving text messages that I don't count on the ringtone for text messages working because it's just for the default. And there basically is no such thing as a default text messaging in the Android world.
All right. True or false? You can make your own ringtones and alerts by using special apps or buying ringtones.
Absolutely. It takes a little bit more work, but boy, can you have fun then. And on the Android, it's Ringdroid is what we recommend for making ringtones, and what I showed you was called Talking Ringtone.
Okay, and we'll do the Ringdroid one of these days as an app of the week. Or maybe even get into it a little deeper. So what is the web page that lists all of our weekly shows?
Our website, geeksontour.com, and you'll see a menu item right on the main menu for weekly shows.
And the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters?
Same website, geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and articles. There's lots of stuff on there, but the first item is newsletters.
Cool. And what benefits do you get by joining Geeks on Tour?
Well, number one is access to all the tutorial videos. There's about 300 of them. And number two is to be able to ask specific questions in our member Q&A, and we, Jim or I, promise that we will respond. And then last but not least is for all of these What Does This Button Do shows, we have notes and specific timeline links. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can go straight to the spot that you're interested in.
Well, that's great. So make sure you do that. We really invite you to go to our website and take advantage of all the tools that are there. And we also invite you to become a member. So, at geeksontour.com.
That would make a good Christmas present, too, right?
You know, I think it really would.
Yeah,
and we have books and we have all kinds of things that you can
getting
get.
a little late now, but
well, no, because
an online membership.
An online membership is instant, and you can get it right away. So, highly recommended. Geeks on Tour, technology training. Next time will be next week, December 28th. That'll be our last show from this location, at least for a while. And we've really enjoyed our time here. But we also want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Solstice,
Happy New Year,
and whatever else it is that you like to celebrate. So we'll have a beginner's lesson on Bluetooth devices. I'll have an app of the week. We'll take your questions. Please remember to put in that you're coming. Leave your questions or your comments in the comments below, and we'll try and get to them.
and if you're following us on the Google Plus page, then you will absolutely receive notices of the times and stuff. We don't always send it out to our complete mailing list.
Okay. Let's roll the credits. geeksontour.com. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next week on What Does This Button Do?
And just keep pushing those buttons. You'll learn something new every time. Like, what does this button do?
Don't touch that button.